So let's get into these fights. Here we go.
In our Bum Fights edition. This is Bros Talk MMA Bum Fights edition.
Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite MMA sports betting channel, Bros Talk MMA. I'm your host, Utica, undeniably the illest cat around, a.k.a. Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick. I'm here with my bro host extraordinaire.
You know what it is. It's Ray Bucks. It's Michael Jordan. It's the Parlay God. It's Mr. Go Grab My Belt.
It's Mr.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hoping for stronger. It's all good though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it on the next one. But yeah, folks, we're back from about a week and a half hiatus going into this weekend's fight card, coming off of the spectacle that was UFC 300, a card that, for what it lacked in, name power, more than made up for what that was in actual action, and fucking just the fight card overall was amazing. Definitely didn't hurt up in those fight bonuses. I think that definitely, played a part. So, shout out UFC, shout out all the fighters on the card. We got a 13 fight card this weekend. It's going to be a UFC fight night at the Apex. So we're going to start off with the first fight in the lightweight division. We got Maheshate going up against Gabriel Benitez. We got Maheshate coming in at 9-3 overall, 1-2 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5. We got Benitez coming in at 23-11 overall, 7-7 in the UFC, and 2-3 in their last 5. I'm going to be going with Maheshate in this fight. I just believe they're going to be the better striker. They're the younger fighter. I mean, they may have an iffy ground game, which is just basically yet to be determined. But I'm going to be going with them in this fight. Benitez is going to be 11 years the elder of Maheshate, and they got ground game and kicks, but they did just recently lose to Jim Miller, and that was both like on the feet and on the ground. So I just believe that Maheshate is going to be the winner in this fight.
I gotta go with you. I'm going with my guy Machete. Gabriel Benitez, again, is 11 years older. He's just got a lot of miles, right? He's almost got as many losses as Machete's got fights total. So I think there's just a lot of miles on Gabriel Benitez, and so that's why I think Machete takes this one down.
For sure. Moving on to the lightweight division, we got Ivana Petrovic going up against Liang. I'm sorry about that. We got Petrovic coming in at 6-1 overall. They're 0-1 in the UFC and 4-1 in their last 5. We got Liang coming in at 19-7 overall. They're 0-3 in the UFC and 2-3 in their last 5. Probably not the popular pick, but I actually am going to be going with Liang in this fight. I do believe that they're going to be the better grappler of the two, which I believe this fight will go to the ground. Unless Petrovic decides to, showcase some striking and is able to chin Liang, which is very much possible. I just think that if this goes to the ground, Liang actually could find themselves in a better position. And I just think that both are having to prove whether or not they're UFC caliber here, which is going to be kind of hard to gauge because at this point neither one has proven to be. So even if one beats the other, they would still have to have a fight or two to really prove whether or not they should be in the UFC. But I'll be going with Liang in this fight.
I got to go with Ivana Petrovic. Liang's literally been chinned her last 3 fights. Neither one of them belong in the UFC. This fight is going to be a snooze fest. But I think Petrovic wins it by decision.
For sure. Moving on, we got a lightweight bout between James Llontop going up against Chris Padilla. We got Llontop coming in at 14-2 overall. They're making their UFC debut, and they're currently on a 12-fight win streak. We got Padilla coming in at 13-6 overall. They're making their UFC debut, and they're 4-1 in their last 5. I'll be going with Llontop in this fight. I just believe they'll be the better striker. They've been training longer for this fight, and although Padilla, I believe, is a pretty well-rounded fighter, they're currently on a 3-fight finishing streak. I just feel like them coming in on super short notice, although they may have been training because they actually have a fight that was scheduled in May prior to getting this fight booked. Although they've probably been training and most likely will be able to make weight and all that good stuff, I just think that this is too short notice to be able to get familiar with your opponent. So I'll be going with Llontop in this fight.
I gotta agree with you. I'm gonna go with James as well. It's the super short notice for me. It's honestly, I don't know much about these, to be honest with you. I'm going with Llontop though.
I got you for sure. Moving on back to the women's division. We got a strawweight bout between Ketlen Souza going up against Marnic, Mann. We got Souza coming in at 13-4 overall, 0-1 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. We got Mann coming in at 6-2 overall. They're 0-1 in the UFC as well, and they're 3-2 in their last 5. I'll be going with Souza in this fight. I just believe that they'll be the better striker, more aggressive, and although Mann will be, willing to match that aggression, I just don't believe that they'll be able to, they won't be able to reach that level quite to where Souza is going to be at. I think that Mann's definitely durable and, will take a beating. But I just believe that they just won't be aggressive enough to be able to actually win this fight in any capacity. So I'll be going with Souza.
I'm going to go with Ketlen Souza too. This will be just another women's MMA snooze fest. Decision victory. Souza beats Marnic, Mann.
For sure. Moving on, we got a heavyweight bout between Dontel Mays going up against Caio Machado. We got Mays coming in at 10-6 overall, 3-4 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5 completed fights. Machado's coming in at 8-2 overall with they're 0-1 in the UFC and they're 4-1 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Mays. I just believe that they'll be the better striker. They'll actually, out of the two, probably have the more volume, and they can wrestle. So Machado, they are a good grappler, but they're just not very aggressive, and they smile too much and are just like, they just have that happy to be here attitude about them, and they're kind of low volume on the feet. So I'll be going with Mays in this fight.
I'd agree with you. Mays is just the more aggressive fighter, the higher volume fighter. Machado's just happy to collect the check at this point.
For sure. All right, moving on to the lightweight division. We got Austin Hubbard going up against Michal Figlak. We got Hubbard coming in at 15-7 overall, 3-5 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5. We got Figlak coming in at 8-1 overall, 0-1 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Hubbard in this fight. I just believe that they got more UFC experience. They've been in the promotion a couple times over, earning their way in multiple times. They're a decent enough striker that can wrestle and at least keep it on the feet and are super durable. Figlak it is probably going to be the better striker of the two, but they have no ground game, so that kind of concerns me. Being that Hubbard's so durable, if he is able to maybe gas Figlak and get them to the ground, I would say that it could potentially play in their favor. So I'm gonna be going with the upset with Hubbard on this one.
I'm gonna also go with Austin Hubbard. I think he does exactly what you say. He just wears on Figlak and wears him out and takes him into the deep water. And then, you know what I mean, possibly ends the fight, be a submission third round. But again, I think most of this card's going to the decision. So I think Austin Hubbard gets a decision win over Figlak.
For sure. Moving on to the bantamweight division, we got Rani Yahya going up against Victor Henry. We got Yahya coming in at 28-11-1, 13-5 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5. We got Henry coming in at 23-6, 2-1 in the UFC, and man, like if you can't tell, I fucking don't got a pair of glasses on and it's showing right now.
Really, nigga?
Fucking bear with me, folks. But they're 3-2 in their last 5 fights. I'm gonna be going with Henry. I was thinking about going with Yahya in this fight at first, but you know, they got, you know, great grappling, but they're old and they don't really got any stand-up game. Whereas Henry's got decent grappling, at least enough to match with Yahya, I believe, to definitely keep it standing up. And they're the slightly younger fighter, so and they got, like I said, they got some stand-up. So I'll be going with Henry in this fight.
I'm gonna agree with you again. I mean, I know it's surprising. We don't have too many weeks like this, but yeah, Victor Henry's my guy in this one as well. I just feel that Yahya's he's on a downhill trend. Victor Henry's not necessarily on an uphill trend, but I just think he's not as going on downhill as fast. So Victor Henry's my guy.
Got you. Moving on to the welterweight division, we got Tim Means going up against Uros.
Is this the beginning of the main card?
I do believe so. Yeah.
I'm not doing that with you.
I don't trust this table or this setup we got right now. So anyway, we got Means coming in at 33-15-1, 15-12 overall in the UFC, and 2-3 in their last 5. We got Medic coming in at 9-2, 3-2 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5. I guess it didn't, it was short-lived with us, agreeing on fights, because I'll actually be going with Means in this fight. I believe that they're just, a decent enough striker with that UFC experience and durability that they'll be able to break Medic if this fight is able to go over 3 rounds. They got a decent gas tank, and although they're the older fighter, I just think that with the ground game and the point striking that they're gonna apply a high volume. I think Medic, although they're the better striker, their gas tank is yet to be determined. They don't really necessarily have a great ground game, or at least it still has yet to be tested. They're a slightly younger fighter, but I'm gonna be going with Means in this fight.
Okay. I mean, I guess you do realize that Tim Means has more losses than Medic has even fights total. Tim Means has been in 49 fights. versus Medic's 11. It's just I think there's a lot of wear and tear on Tim Means. I just don't think he gets it done against Uros Medic. Solely based on the fact that he's been in almost 50 fights.
Okay. All right. Well, may the best pick win on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we got a featherweight bout between Jonathan Pearce going up against David Onama. We got Pearce coming in at 14-5 overall, 5-2 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. We got Onama coming in at 11-2 overall, 3-2 in the UFC, and 3-2 in their last 5. I'm going to be going with Pearce. I was actually going to go with Onama at first, but after looking at everything, I do believe that if Pearce doesn't come in and get fucking complacent like they did in their last fight against Joe Anderson Brito, and they just fucking focus, I believe that they'll be able to basically win this fight wherever it goes. I believe this will probably be like a decision fight. They do have the better gas tank of the two fighters. And although Onama's the more powerful striker on the feet, I just feel like they don't necessarily have the greatest gas tank. And they're a good grappler, but they got to be able to apply it early on or else they start to wilt after a while. So I'll be going with Pearce in this one.
I gotta agree with you on this one. Jonathan Pearce, I think, is just the more experienced fighter. He will keep the fight slow and distanced, or grapple Onama to the ground for those first couple rounds. Wear him out, wear out his gas tank, and then at that point he'll take over in the late second, third round. Onama is dangerous with the hands. Flash KOs are very, very possible. I think I will be placing a, small first round knockout bet on Onama. But other than that, I think Jonathan Pearce got this, and I think he'll definitely take it down as my pick.
Definitely. Moving on, we got a heavyweight bout between Jhonata Diniz going up against Austin Lane. We got Diniz coming in at a 6-0 overall, making their UFC debut, and are currently on a 9-fight win streak with their kickboxing background included. We got Austin Lane coming in at 12-4 overall, 0-1 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. I'm going to be going with Diniz in this fight. I just believe they're the more aggressive, powerful fighter overall. Their gas tank has yet to be determined with all the first round finishes, but I just think that they're going to be able to get it done. Austin Lane, although powerful, they're just a little chinny. They don't necessarily put out like a lot of volume. So yeah, I'm gonna be going with Diniz in this fight.
I'm gonna go with Diniz as well. I love me. You know what I mean? Undefeated.
Perfection.
No blueprint on how to beat me. So Jhonata Diniz has got to be my pick on this one. I think he takes out Austin Lane for sure.
All right. Moving on, we got a flyweight bout in the women's division. We got Karine Silva going up against Ariane Lipski. We got Silva coming in at 17-4 overall, 3-0 in the UFC, and they're currently on an 8-fight win streak. We got Lipski coming in at 17-8 overall, 6-5 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. I'm going to be going with Silva in this fight. They're definitely going to be the bigger, more powerful fighter. They got a good ground game, and their gas tank is questionable only because it hasn't quite been tested. They get a lot of finishes, but I just believe that Lipski, although well-rounded, they just they can be chinned, and their gas tank's decent, but I don't even think this fight's gonna go to decision. So that just plays even more so into Silva's favor. I'm gonna be going with them to win, most likely by submission in this fight.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Silva as well. I think it'll literally look like there's only one fighter in the octagon. Versus, I mean, even though she's going against Lipski, Lipski's not going to do much. She's not going to hardly move. She's going to be a punching bag. It will be target practice. It should be fairly easy. And I think Silva probably gets it done in the second round.
Okay. For sure. All right, moving on to the co-main event. We got a light heavyweight bout between Ryan Spann going up against Bogdan Guskov. We got Spann coming in at 21-9 overall, 7-4 in the UFC, and 2-3 in their last 5. We got Guskov coming in at 15-3 overall, 1-1 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Spann in this fight. I just believe that they're the better overall fighter. Definitely got a good ground game, decent hands, better strength of competition. The people that they've lost to are actually, the upper echelon of the division. It's funny because this dude Guskov is probably going to look like a younger version of a fighter who's been whooping Spann's ass for 2 fights, which was Anthony Smith. I think he's a part of 3 out of those. He's a part of 2 of those 3 losses out of his last 5 fights. And, so maybe that's going to put a chip on Spann's shoulder. Maybe he'll take out his frustrations on Guskov. I think that Guskov, is a powerful striker, probably the stronger fighter of the 2. But I just don't think that they've faced UFC caliber competition the way that Spann has, and their gas tank is to be determined. So we'll see that whether or not they got that if this fight is to go to decision. But I'm gonna be going with Spann in this fight.
I'm going with Ryan Spann as well. I mean, he's a ranked light heavyweight, right? Guskov has fought one contender series fight and 1 fight in the UFC,
which was against very I don't know if they're ranked, but definitely Volkan Ozdemir is no joke. So to lose to him isn't nothing to be mad at. But he hasn't faced the competition that Spann has.
Spann has, and that's just the point. He's just unproven at this point. So I've got to go with Ryan Spann. I think it's just the fight IQ will be there, and that's how he gets it done. To be honest with you, I think this is. I think this is another decision victory, another decision fight. Light heavies. You're starting to get up there in weight. It's one of those slow fights. Obviously, Guskov has some power in his hands. Spann has, I would say, the speed. He's definitely the speedier of the 2 strikers. Mm-hmm. But either way, come towards the late second, third round, shit starts to get slow, and it'll probably go to a decision.
I feel like Guskov is turning around pretty fast from his last fight too.
He is.
But he did end his fight pretty quick, so I get it. But
yeah,
kind of a fast turnaround. All right, yeah, both going with Spann. That leaves us with the main event of the evening. We got a flyweight bout between Mateus Nicolau going up against Alex Perez. Originally, Nicolau was supposed to go up against Manel Kopp in a rematch of a bout that they had not too long ago, some years ago. but Cop ended up withdrawing. So now Perez, who actually is coming off a loss just this past month in March against Muhammad Mukayev, he's coming in short notice to go up against Nicolau. We got Nicolau coming in at 19-3-1 overall, 7-2 in the UFC, and 4-1 in their last 5. We got Perez coming in at 24-8, 6-4 in the UFC, and 2-3 in their last 5. I'm gonna be going with Nicolau. Once again, this is a short notice fight. Nicolau is very well rounded. They're gonna be the better grappler of the two fighters. They should have decent enough hands to at least find good entries for that grappling. And they definitely got a good gas tank. Perez, they're going to be the better striker of the two. Very well rounded as well. They got an okay ground game that they'll probably use to try and keep things on the feet. But I just feel like this short notice is just them trying to, get the bad taste out of their mouth. But I just don't think Nicolau is the guy to do it up against, especially on short notice. Perez has a good gas tank. This very well could go the distance with Nicolau just kind of winning a pretty, I don't want to say dominant, but I just feel like they'll be able to put the points on Perez and kind of edge out every round. I'll be going with Nicolau in this fight.
I got to go with Nicolau as well. And I think for that last point you made, Alex Perez just fought last month. Alex Perez just fought in March to a loss. He's turning around and kind of getting after it again. I just don't think it's going to be a good look. I think he's going to take another L. I got to go with Nicolau on this one.
All right. Well, that concludes our picks and predictions portion of this episode. So I really only got parlays this week. And nothing too grand, just because of the way that this card's shaped up. So I'm gonna be going with a 3-pick parlay. I got Llontop, Silva, Karine Silva, and Mateus Nicolau. If you want to spice it up, you can throw in Maheshate, Ketlen, Souza, and Jhonata, Diniz. Make it a little, spicy 6-piece if you want. I'm still on my lineup boycott. I might throw in a couple just off of the top of my brain that I believe, but nothing expansive. Do better. Fucking DraftKings and
Do
UFC.
better.
There hasn't been any dropouts as of yet, but who fucking knows? We already had one happen, luckily, pre fucking, fight, in the middle of the fight week. So hopefully, if anything does happen, it'll be, before the fucking card. No dropouts mid fucking card. But regardless, until I see some type of change in policy or some more consistency or, some type of change in that area, you won't see me pouring my money into any fucking lineups anytime soon. But, that's not to say I won't be, again, down the road. But for now, just got parlays for y'all. What do you got for the people?
You know what? The parlay god is going to endorse, Mr. Make This Pick Real Quick's parlays. They're all pretty solid. I don't see any reason why any one of those 6 people don't win. The only thing I would probably do is maybe add either Petrovic as a 7 or Petrovic would be one of my spicies. Again, Liang's been chinned 3 times in a row, last 3 fights. So I don't see Petrovic losing that one. So I would throw her in there.
I feel you. I mean, I thought about it, but I mean, I guess it would have been on the Liang side, but I don't fuck with Liang that much.
No.
You know, so maybe if I did pick Petrovic, I would think about that. But since I picked Liang, nah, I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. I like it though. I like where your head's at.
Yeah,
Spicy 7, definitely a solid 6, but a spicy 7 Ray style.
And I really feel those are
with the Ray Buck sauce.
Yeah, I really feel that those are all probably your most solid picks of the fight card.
Well, once again, you know, we're coming off of a week vacation, you know, after the spectacle that was UFC 300. It was a wonderful card. You know, I actually ended up heading off to Texas after that, you know. Bro was just, you know, out here holding it down, you know, keeping things spicy here in Denver. But, yeah, fucking, after that last card, I believe I went 7-6 on UFC 300. Bro, once again, had another solid card. He went 8-5. Oh God, I'm tripping, y'all. I'm so sorry. You're at fucking 96 and 54 because let's see here. So, yeah, 64. Mm-hmm. You were at 96 and 64. I am at fucking 92 and 68.
All right.
And I'll put up the percentages and all that.
You know what? I'm gonna say you're gonna hit 100 this card too.
Mm-hmm. I feel
you know
good.
what I mean? We only got what, a couple differences. You only got a couple mistakes on your side.
Yeah. No, I feel good. I feel good. But yeah, so we got that. Outside of that, like, comment, share, subscribe.
Perfect.
Appreciate everybody who's been, you know, rocking with us. Make sure you follow us on IG at Bros Talk MMA. You can follow my bro at r1.mason. And you can follow me at Utica_SME. If you have any, you know, any questions or comments or anything that you'd like to impart, you know, always feel free to reach out. Other than that, you know, we wish y'all happy betting this upcoming fight card. You got anything, bro?
No. Again, I think this fight card's gonna be very good for our predictions this week, and I think the next couple ones coming up, because I feel like these next, I don't know, 4 or 5 cards, they're like cleaning the house cards. It's you know what I mean. Put up or shut up, beat it. You know what I mean. Go down to the lower level and come back up at some point if you can, because UFC 300 was so stacked. That's where all your real contenders are, or your real contenders were. So now they're trying to just rebuild to better fight cards, which we're all really just waiting for that Conor McGregor one, right? Mm-hmm. Conor Chandler. So I think most of the fight cards are gonna be trash up until then. But it makes it easy for betting. Bad for watching, easy, better for betting.
Yeah, definitely. Well, folks, once again, this has been another episode of Bros Talk MMA. We wish y'all nothing but the best for this upcoming fight card. But until then, we out.